To se spraví. Okay. Okay. Okay, seems like everything is ready. Let's do this. Yeah, it could be better. So yeah. Okay. Hello. So we are here. Nice. Let's start it then. So for campaign, there are 4 difficulties, or 5. because you can have tactician on regular or honor mode, which honor mode is only one save, and if you die, the save deletes itself. So yeah, and every time your character dies, it will automatically save. You can still do quick save, but you have only one save slot. So basically, when it saves last, that's the save you will play from checkpoint if you reload or something. And regular, it basically allows you to have multiple saves, but it is same difficulty as honor mode. Yeah, anyway, I think we can start with classic mode, which is mode that is not how to explain, it's not there are no tweaks in difficulty. It's normal difficulty. There is no pros for your character, and enemies are not stronger or weaker. It's basically the same amount. For tactician, everything you can count basically plus 50%. So let's go with classic for now. That's enough. Anyway, if you have any questions during this, just go and ask. If I know answer, I will of course answer it. If I don't, yeah, well, that's why we have Wikipedia. Oh, never mind. Anyway, let's get to it. For now, we are going in character creation, which sometimes may be one of the longest parts when you begin. It's not like there are so many options, it's just the options you can go with are really about your own choice. So there are 6 original characters, which is Red Prince, Sabil, Ethan Venomist, Beast, Losse, and Fane. After that, it's custom characters like dwarf, elves, human, lizard, and then undead variants of these races. Anyway, as you might see, for these races, there are different innate skills and different talents. For this stream, I will take something easy. Oh, I can take Sabil. Yeah, I like Sabil. I played it a lot. Definitely one of the best characters for Necromancer, or maybe the best one for me. Now, you can, if you want to, you can read through her story, or you can just listen to her story.
I used to be a slave, kept under the thumb of the master, the bastard that made me hunt down my own kin. How did he do that, you ask? With the living scar you see on my cheek, this horror that takes no more than a song sung by Master Darius to control my very thoughts. But now
wait a moment. How? I thought it's actually you for the whole time that like skate and okay. Now that's that's surprising to be honest. Okay, my bad. I thought you were already here. How should I read it? Chlobo? Or Klobo? I'm not really sure. Anyway, yeah, anyway, there are 6 original characters here. First one is Red Prince, then there is Sabine, Ethan Benmast, Beast, Losse, and Fane. Then there are different races as custom characters like Dwarf, Elf, Human, Lizard. And then there are undead variants of these characters. As you can see, if I change my race, it will change innate skills, these little icons, pictures, and talents. For now, I will take one of my favorite characters, Sabine. And as I wanted to show before, there is actually origin info, some kind of background story, or if you want to, you can actually listen to that story. So I already did that. I'm not sure if you were here when I did that. I can do it again, it's not that long.
I used to be a slave, kept under the thumb of the master, the bastard that made me hunt down my own kin. How did he do that, you ask? With the living scar you see on my cheek, this horror that takes no more than a song sung by Master Dearest to control my very thoughts. But now the tables have turned. I broke my shackles, and when I finally find him, I will make the master sing a very different kind of song.
So this is it. There are of course different interactions with NPCs when you play as origin character, and you of course have some kind of story that comes from background. For example, for Sabine, it is finding Master and killing him as a revenge for enslaving her. Anyway, except for her innate skills and talents, which we will see more about later, there are presets. They are not set in stone, and basically what you select now, it's more or less just your starting weapon. Because I can, for example, go as Wayfarer, as you can see, with some kind of arrow spells and earth magic, which is here called geomancy. But if I want to, I can just go into preset. Later on we will go there and change in combat abilities and go for something like melee fighter if I want to. Of course it's stupid to start with crossbow or bow when you are going melee, but yeah, you can. Or if you want to just have crossbow for shooting and do magic damage, it's possible as well. Your crossbow won't do much damage anyway. There are different damage types. There's physical and magical damage type and armor, so we have to focus on that. Anyway, let's continue with this. I will, for example, what should I take? Something easy to work with. Let's go with Ranger, for example. Something I know of. Now, we can of course change appearance of these characters. I'll, for example, go with this face. Then there are different hairstyles set for different races. I will, for example, go with this. Yeah, why not? It's the basic one. Or I can go with this to change it a little bit. Then there's skin color. There's definitely a lot of options, and I feel like something normal would be cool. Yeah, this seems good. Now some hair color. Let's go with red, why not? Or orange. Let's go with red, why not? Now, there are attributes. First one is of course strength, there's finesse, and there's intelligence. They are focused on different types of damages. So strength is mainly for warriors or melee types that use sword, two-handed and one-handed weapons. Then there is finesse for using daggers and bows and crossbows. And then there is intelligence, of course, used by mages. And if you get higher strength, if you think about it logically, you can increase your weight that you can lift, so you can move heavier items, and of course you can carry more items in your backpack with you, because of course higher strength means you can carry more. Now because I'm going to be something like hunter, I'm going to use Venice. Now another thing is there is Constitution, which is for HP, memory, which is for memory slots, or in different word, or if I say differently, it shows how many skills you can use at once on your hotbar. You can, for example, remember 30 spells, but if your memory is only 20, you can't use all 30 of them. But if you, for example, find out, hey, I don't like this spell or skill, you can change it. You won't delete that skill from your memory, but you won't be able to use it at that moment. Now there's wits, which is as you can see, high wits allows for detection of the extraordinary. It's not exactly the reason why people spend points in wits. Wits increase your critical chance by 1%, and initiative, which decides who is going first in combat. Now we have some ability points. There's warfare for that increases your physical damage. It's good for everybody who uses physical damage. Mostly these skills are for warriors, or even some scoundrels and rogues can use it. Then there's Huntsman, which is for bow abilities and an increased ability. It increases my attack damage when I'm attacking from high ground. Then there's of course Scoundrel for rogues with daggers, Pyrokinetic, Fire Magic, Hydrophist, Water Magic and Healing. Earthurge is Air Magic or Electricity Magic, and it has some nice utility spells, like for example Teleportation, really amazing spell. Then there's Geomancy, which increases your, which is for, of course, Geomancy spells like Oil, Earthquake, and yeah, basically spells like that. And when you need to replenish your physical armor. By the way, except for healing, Hydrophist replenishes your magical armor. At least certain skills from it. If you put points in it, it will increase by 5%, as you can see here. Now there's Necromancer, which is magical school, so you use intelligence on it. You of course will use wands with it, but through this it's kind of tricky build, because it does physical damage, unlike all other 4 elemental magic schools. So yeah, if you want to do physical party and be mage, that's your number 1 and only option actually. Then there's summoning. As you might think, you will summon your little creature, and when you get your summoning to level 10, that creature will change into Incarnate Champion, which is really giant monster, really strong, really good. It falls down in the middle of the game, but yeah, it's still pretty good. And if you know how to buff it really well and play like that and combine it with other points and stuff, it can be really strong. Now there's Polymorph, which is more or less utility skill, because it doesn't offer much damage, and if it does, it's more of mixed because there are abilities that do magical damage, there are abilities that do physical damage. It's more or less just something you get as bonus. For example, if you want to be invisible as a rogue, you get polymorph and get chameleon cloak and etc. Then there are weapons and defenses. These are not used much, but sometimes they are really good builds if you can use them. For example, 200 is really good when you use 200 melee weapons. It increases your critical multiplier, which is critical damage, not chance. Really good, for example, a summoner, if you know how to build that build. Yeah, I know it sounds a little bit strange to use like 200x for mage, but it actually works really well with this. Now there's dual wielding, which is really good for rogues if you want to do perimaster build. Basically, you will dodge every physical attack on field, and although you don't have much armor, you survive by just dodging attacks. And then there's, for example, leadership, which is good for summoners. For example, it grants dodging and resistance bonuses to all allies in 8-meter radius. Now, for spell abilities, there's telekinesis, which is for battlemancy build, basically, which is something like meme build. Not gonna explain how that works exactly, just you throw really big heavy things on your opponents and kill them with that. Then there's Lore Master, which increases your knowledge about enemies. For example, with knowledge +1, I can now see what kind of elemental resistances they have. On level 2, I would, for example, know even their talents and immunities. It's really good for mages. Mages need to have at least +1, or at least somebody in party has to have +1 Lore Master if you are playing with mage, because that basically shows you what kind of damage you have to do. Sometimes enemies heal from certain elements. Physical damage party doesn't have weaknesses like that, but for mages it's important. Then there is sneaking, not really good on itself. Basically, after you max out your thievery, which lets you pickpocket and pick locks, and pick with people, then it's good to continue with sneaking, so you can do these things easier. Now, bartering, basically for trading, you sell for more, buy cheaper. Nothing complex about it. Persuasion, you tell them obvious lie and they will be like, oh yeah, that's completely true. And increases your attitude with strangers by 5%, which can work in a little bit in a way like bartering. Basically, if they like you more, they are willing to sell you cheaper and buy more expensive from you. Now there's Lucky Charm, which increases your likelihood of finding extra treasure wherever loot is stashed. Sometimes it triggers a lot, sometimes it doesn't trigger at all. I by myself don't use it much and just go for thievery mostly. There are of course some situations persuasion would be really good to have, but thievery is something that will make your life overall easier. Of course, in this game you can play. We will go to that, but but you will of course play with 2 or 4 characters depending on your choices, and it's completely possible to go with one character thievery and other character persuasion. In that case, I recommend going persuasion for the main character and thievery for side characters. Anyway, let's go to skills. Yeah, I will before that. No, I think it's fine as it is now. Pyrokinetic enhancement. Yeah, I will get buff from pyrokinetic and enhancement. Yeah, that sounds good. So I think I will use elemental arrowheads actually, although I don't normally use it. There's peace of mind. I think I will not use it now, and then get pinned down. That sounds like a good choice. Now, because I selected all things in preset, I can just go back, and now I can check all my points. I distributed some skills I've chosen. Now there are talents. There are different talents. You can have all of them, but you will be getting quite a number of them through game. But the first thing is to choose if you want to go with Lone Wolf or not. Lone Wolf makes game easier. Not much, but some kind of builds like Necromancer build with Lone Wolf is super OP. I can, for example, take it to show you how it looks. And basically it doubles your points invested. Before I had 12 points in finis, 11 points in wits, and then it doubled, so right now I have 14 and 12. Same for Huntsman and Pyrokinetic, and it doesn't work for simple abilities. But that kinda makes sense because these are for combat, and that's like the half of the game. Second half is you figure out what you are supposed to do. So let's go with Lone Wolf for now. For tags, origin characters have it predetermined, so there's no way for me to change it. But if you created your custom character, you can of course go with Noble and Mystic or Barbarian Jester, whatever you feel like it's good for you. Of course there are some predetermined tag like me, for example, being elf. There's no way for me to be elf and go for dwarf, or I'm female as Sabille, so yeah, same for Sabille. These tags are for offer you special conversation options which you won't be able to use. And there is even one quest that if you have Scholar and Mystic tag, it will actually let you complete it. There may be other ways to do it. I actually never completed it. I just found out on the internet when I was looking for something else. But it actually is possible. Now there are some instruments I never actually find out if you can hear them in fight, but I didn't care. So I will just go with Bansuri for now and start game. Let's leave intro cutscene just so you can see the setting of the story and world.
It all happened like I knew it would. A single drop of source magic. And like flies to honey, the monsters swarmed. The rebel panicked. The carnage began. And the magisters pointed their fingers at me. Just as I'd planned. I was shackled and collared. And sent to Fort Joy. I'd come here to kill Godwoken. But instead I became part of their story.
Oh yeah. That feels so good to see that once again. Anyway, if you have any questions, just ask me. Or at least text me that you are still here and I'm not talking to air.
So, still a bit groggy, are we? Don't worry. The sedative will wear off soon enough. Easy now. No need to hurry. Get your bearings and report to me upstairs.
What a dismal way to wake. In the belly of the beast. Let's see if I can grope my way out.
Okay. So, as you can see, this is how this game looks. I can zoom in, zoom out, turn camera around. And these are my skills. Elemental arrowheads, ricochet, pin down, and then there is special sword skill. I will explain that in a little bit. And there is flesh sacrifice. These are innate skills, as you could see when I was choosing race, or if I want to be original custom character. I'm going to clear this. I don't want to use it, and this one will come here. As you might see, these are the memory slots. I have only 3 of them. They are full, so nothing for me to gain. And let's go. Right now I can open this crate, and of course if I need to I can just move it around. I don't need to, or I could just destroy it if I want it.
An animal pen. How utterly charming.
This game is more realistic in the interaction of world around you. So if something is in your way, sometimes you just have to move it, sometimes you have to destroy it by force, and sometimes there is just a convenient way to get around it. Right now, because I found that key, I could go through this door, and now this door is locked again, and I can't open it. I see some pressure plates here. If I press on this one, it won't actually do anything. If I press on this one, it won't do anything as well. Then there are some items on the table and this letter. So let's read it. Orders from Guard Steward. Important. It's come to my attention again that several of you are bypassing the cargo hold security measures by sliding boxes onto the pressure plates. This will not do. The purpose of these measures is to require the presence of at least 3 magisters at a change of shift. Any deviation will result in at least 1 magister getting thrown overboard. Make sure it isn't you. Magisters 1. C1. Oh, C1. Okay, my bad. Anyway, so right now the game actually gives you a hint how to do this. So I will move this here. Then I will actually open this barrel. Get pocket knife. It's not a weapon that will give me any skills, but if I was scoundrel and had scoundrel skills, I could actually write, or warrior with some warfare skills, I could actually right now use my abilities. But because I'm hunter, I won't be able to. Okay, there's some magister and prisoner. Let's talk to this guy here then.
Hey, get me out of this cage and I'll make it worth your while. You in?
So I can either agree, turn my back, I am carefully. Why is he engaged in the first place? Demand to know what exactly is it in for us. Or I can take my leave. Simply. Let's ask why he is here.
Your guess is as good as mine. Someone screamed loud as a banshee. After that, pure pandemonium. They never even told me what I was accused of. Just dragged me down here.
Okay. Let's go help him then.
A gentlewoman among jesters, you are. Give that lever a pull, and I guarantee we'll both get something out of the deal.
Let's ask what exactly it is.
And I'll set you free. A fair trade, I should think.
Okay, let's go for it.
Before you can even touch the lever, you hear a sniff and snort behind you as the snoring Magister mumbles himself awake. One bloodshot eye opens, and then another.
My shift over. You here to relieve me? You're no Magister. You're a sorcerer. What are you doing here, filthy elf? Choose your words carefully. My fists ache to meet a new face.
Now, another set of actions I can take. So I can ignore him and just pull the lever. Or tell him the truth. And there are persuasions. There's wit persuasion, constitution persuasion, and finish persuasion. Of course, and some different sentences I can say to him. For example, for wit, salute him and say his superior sent you. He's to report to upper deck. For constitution, tell him you heard yelling coming from above. He needs to get up there. Or I can just tell him I'm itching for a fight and he's my mark. To show you how persuasion works, I will select Venice, laugh and tell him one of the guards on the upper deck fell overboard. He should check it out. And it actually worked because I have Venice points. So for this one I didn't really need persuasion as much as I needed more points in that.
Those idiots can't even walk straight without mucking it up. Was it Rick's? I bet it was Rick's.
Sure, it was Rick's. Before I proceed, you can trade with most characters in this game by pressing triangle. So right now he doesn't have anything I would need.
Can't just leave the prisoner alone though. I heard he might be the one causing trouble upstairs.
So we can either ignore him or just continue with our persuasion. Flex your arms, remark on the sturdiness of the cell bars, speak boastfully of your days as prison warden. Let's go with ignoring him for now.
What in the... A collared sauce freak thinks she can hoodwink a red? Damn fool. I should have known there'd be trouble.
Nice. So right now I don't have any long range attacks. So I will just stay here. Or maybe I will just proceed here right now. And end my turn here. Good shot. Okay, I will use this action. By the way, these actions you see on second hotbar, you can clear them as well as other skills or just add them again. By default you always have them on second hotbar, so I will use delay your turn because I didn't do anything in my turn yet, so I can delay it. And fight now. that enemy has come closer to me, I can actually go here and attack him.
The prisoner's buoyant voice darkens as his eyes rest on yours.
Ah, freedom. Tastes better than wine. I'm nothing if not a man of my word. And I did give my word I'd set you free, lass. Say your prayers while you've breath to speak them. The halls await.
Of course he's turned on us. So right now I will just attack him. And the other thing is, because I have only one weapon in one hand, I can use Sucker Punch. An unexpected blow that deals 6 to 7 physical damage and knocks down target. It's resisted by physical armor, and right now this guy doesn't have any physical armor. So I can just use it. And it's knocked down. Now I can attack him again. And again. And again. And just a little bit more. And one more attack for you.
What would he have to gain by killing me? I need to keep my guard up.
There's electric discharge scroll. Magister with key and gold. And some empty potion bottles. I'm not going to use them. And you don't have anything. Now, I can use this bucket here. You may ask how, and the answer is simple. I can use it as a helmet. I will use one initiative, but get +2 physical armor, which is not really that important or useful, but no. I just wanted to show you that this game can be sometimes surprising. Nobody will probably use bucket as a helmet, but if you want it to, you definitely can. And yes, you get some armor by it. Now I will pick up some healing potions. This, as you might think, it's poison. It doesn't do much damage, but I still don't want to go in it. And poison is flammable. So let's use this candle to move it in poison. And it's done. Now I will wait a little bit for this fire to be put out, yes, and I can proceed further. Now this lower.
And I'm back where I started.
And it's done.
Nowhere to go but up.
So this is for tutorial deck. Now we can go to real deck. There is something nice like gold cup here. I will take it. Thank you. Because as you might see, this gold cup costs 125. Because of how this game works, when I come to actually sell it, it will cost 50, 70 maybe. So it's not really that much, but for starting, any money is good money.
Not too tight, I hope. The collar, I mean. Oh, not to worry. Every dog has to get used to its leash. In the meantime, your next stop will be Magister William. All passengers have to be registered in the ship's manifest, and he's the chap in charge of the logs. You'll find him on the other side of this deck, in the officers' quarters.
Now we have another options what to say and what to do, and of course we have tags involved. Right now, because I have outlaw and scholar tag, I can choose one of these options or just take a leave. For now I will take a leave. There's no need for us to talk to her anymore, and let's just proceed here.
There's been a murder here.
Now I will close the door here. And now I will show you special ability of every elf. Which it's a little bit disgusting, but definitely one of my most favorite abilities in this game. So right now I took Jungle Flesh from Deer Finn, who died. I'll go here, and now if I go in my inventory, I can eat it. Yes, I can eat body parts, but the best thing about it is
Slides down your throat. You feel his consciousness enter yours. His memories are yours to experience. You are Finn.
exactly. Elves can eat body parts and get memories from it.
Your heart is heavy. You know too much. It's all too much. You met him. A bright light blinds you, then fades. You feel a tremendous power in your hands, but they're shaking so hard you can barely use them. Suddenly you're on this very ship, crouched in a corner, hugging your knees. A figure approaches, an older woman. Her eyes are kind. She comes closer. She says she wants to talk. She reaches a hand toward you. You grasp it. The memories end. You are no longer Finn. You return to yourself with a jolt.
And sometimes I get a skill from it. These are predetermined, so of course every time I eat this jungle flesh from Finn, I get adrenaline skill. But for now we find out something about his murder and got adrenaline skill. Now, best healing item in the whole game is bedroll. That's right, bedroll. It's easy to use, you can keep it in your hotbar, and it fully heals you every time. And you get rested status. And as bonus, your rested status, if I go in status, there's rested, it increases my primary attributes. Okay, my bad. It increases primary attributes and protects me from muted, blinded, crippled, knocked down. Its duration is 3 turns. Right now it's just will deplete, but in fight it will actually last for a whole turn 3 times, so yeah. It's something you can just use always before fights and get little bit of advantage. Now we have several characters here, like Magister Victor and Ifan Benmast, which you can recruit in your party later. Then there is Beast, Red Prince, there's Loss over here, and then we have Fane right here. Now you can talk to them, but that's something that's important more lore wise than gameplay wise. So for this showcase I will just proceed to the next step.
Here's the register, ma'am. Good. Magister Williams is just about done with the last passenger. You faring okay so far?
Let's go with, yeah, we've been through worse.
Trust me, with Bishop Alexander in charge, things will get a lot better from here on out. He's God-walking you. You head on in now. Williams will get you sorted fast.
Now, there's coming something that's scripted, but there's a way how to make that script help you get a more starting experience, and by that I mean exactly 675 experience, which is a lot when we are starting. And the easy way to do that is to attack this guy. Just few more attacks. And now, because I triggered fight with open doors, they actually saw me. And when she does this big attack, she will actually kill everybody even behind door. So I get EXP for killing these people.
What's happened?
I can of course take a look inside the inventory. And mainly, right now, if I want to, I can pickpocket these guys and get some resurrection scroll for start, and other scrolls as well. And if you need to, if you start with more people, there are 2 more bedrolls you can use. Anyway, I will just take this and continue. There's no need for me to loot everybody. It's more just to show you how it works. Now in this chest with confiscated goods, you can find your starting weapons. For me it's bow, so I will gladly take it. It uses both hands as bow would. So right now I'm not going to use that knife, but I can shoot. And my skills opened. Now this is water barrel, so I will put it in fire, which will extinguish it. And now I will do actually this. Shoot this dog from here. Oh, he's too far, never mind. Let's go a bit closer. Now it's perfect. What do you mean interrupted? Now I will do flesh sacrifice, which is innate skill for every elf. It will give me 1 action point, these green dots, above my HP, and 10% damage bonus for 2 turns, but it will cost me -1 constitution. I don't need that as an archer much. I don't want to be in melee fight or in any fight in general, so right now it's not that much. Yeah, right now it's 3 HP basically. Now I can use element arrowheads, blood, and I got blood arrows. If we take a look in status, it adds 2 to 3 physical damage to weapon attacks and skills. Nice, so right now I attack with more damage than before. And right now I can use Pain Down, which will cost me 3 AP, but for 1 turn target is crippled and won't move. I can end my turn here, there's nothing else I can do with it. And then I can just shoot him again. And it's done. I got 1d5 EXP, not much, but it's better than nothing. And another gold cap. Now, if I was undead with Theory, undeads, because they have bony fingers, don't need lockpicks. So I could pick lock of this door, but I can just destroy this door. One more, thank you, and continue.
He eyes the collar circling your neck and reaches a hand towards his blade.
Another sorcerer!
Okay, let's draw my weapon and be done with him.
And brandishes his blade.
They're so close to each other. I will of course again start with this. Then elements of arrowheads for blood. And ricochet, which will make my arrow find another target after hitting first target. If they are close to each other by 5 meters, they are really close, so there's no problem with that. One is dead. Another has low physical armor, the gray one, so I will shoot it. And he actually even died. Okay, didn't expect that, but that's it. And another free resurrection scroll that will always appear here.
God damn it! Not longer for this thing snaps into splinters.
Now, if you wanted, you could actually search bodies here. Didn't want to. Yeah, and get some little bit of pocket money and or weapons. I think this one, no. I remember there were actually people with, yeah, and you can even find some pants. I will take them, yeah, why not? It's not much, but it's starting. Okay, auto-saved. And now another fight. This time with weapons. So I will again use flesh sacrifice for increased damage, blood arrows for more damage, and I can just shoot you like this. Now I will put this guy out of fight. That works. And then turn. Now I will just shoot you until you die. And another experience. Fireball scroll. What do you have? Nothing. What about you? Nothing. Now, as you can see, my HP is a little bit down, so I can just use bedroll. I can go up here after fire is out. There are some items like improvised wand and scroll, but that's something I need to wait for. Right now it's not important. And there's Lightbolt.
Children and dwarfs first, just like the old stories say.
The dwarf yanks at one of the nearby ropes. Tomorrow there.
Said there were other people down there. We need to help them.
You see those tentacles, kid? It's time to get the hell out of here.
Okay. Let's be a little bit mean and call him yellow-bellied coward. We are going to save these survivors.
Thank you. There's a ladder right over there. You can go straight down.
You're gonna be the death of us here.
Then it's time to go down. Another free experience here is this woman, Magister C1. So I will gladly kill her. My bad, I missed. Okay, I will wait for a little bit. Just so I can, yeah. Now I will enter sneak mode, because there is going to be fight and I would like to... Okay, never mind then. I wanted to get better position, but this worked as well, I guess. Now another element arrows. Right now my tactic is limited to this. I'm not sure if this will work, but let's try. It actually did work. Nice, I think I should be able to kill this guy. Cool. What about you? No, you are behind the corner. What about you? Same as other one. Let's stay here then.
I've faced worse. Your maker.
Okay, time for me to shine. So I missed. There's 95% chance for me to kill it actually, and I miss. That happens, I guess. Now that I've saved everybody, we can go upstairs. And I'm level 2.
I have plans for you, child. Right.
Honorable Dallas, we lost a ship sailing sorcerer prisoners to Fort Joy. We assume some escaped and broke their collars. Their vile magic lured the Voidwoken. All who were aboard are presumed dead. Yours faithfully into eternity, High Judge Orion.
Okay, so I guess I will show you how to recruit somebody, and then we can end it for today. I mean, there is much more to see from this game. How fights with more enemies works, how repositioning during fight, which is must sometimes, can affect your damage output. Of course, yeah, these are kind of basic things, but sometimes it's important to think about if you want to shoot another shot, or you want to get away from fire. So right now that I level up, I go 2 attribute points as every time, but for spending 1 I will get actually 2 of them. So I will put more points in finesse, more points in memory, and I see I by mistake put points in wits, or at least I let them be there when I created the character. Never mind, it doesn't matter that much. Right now I can choose again what kind of combat ability I would like, because for first act you just need 2 points in abilities, and I already have them to unlock all abilities during that first act. I don't need to increase Huntsman for now, and getting hard damage from high ground is not a reliable source of damage increase. For pyrokinetic, basically I have already what I need, so I will invest in Necromancer, which is passive ability will heal me for 20% of damage dealt. But I do that mainly for combination skill, which is something a little more progressive, and we will talk about it later. For now I will avoid this fight, it's not hard, it's just so I can show you how it looks when you wanna recruit somebody else. For now we have Red Prince. Let's go with him then.
Gazing over the water with a steady, malcontent stare. His skin is of a bright, blood-red color. Could he be... Yes, you recognize him from the ship. It would seem you're not the only one who survived the tentacles of the deep.
Now, I can choose some normal option, or I can actually use Sabil tech, which will let me proceed or interact in a way Sabil would. So
The lizard turns about
let's
with
do
the
that.
graceful ease of a dancer or a duelist. You lock eyes with his, two smouldering embers that sizzle your very soul.
No, I do not. Then again, I don't belong to the House of Dreams. I'm a prince of the House of War. A house you seem to be all too familiar with, judging by that rather fetching mark on your cheek.
Let's go with this option.
The implication being we are equals, I assume. I no longer a prince, you no longer a slave. You silly girl. Not even Fort Joy, this horrid pimple on the hide of hell, can undo such distinctions. But what is more, and far more serious this is too, is that you've clearly relinquished your duties by running away from your rightful master. A crime punishable by death.
Yeah, Scuff, the last of this damnable empire, has no validity here.
No,
Yeah.
no, I suppose they don't. Which is why I've no intention of carrying out the death sentence that I should. Besides, you did come back for me and all those others on a sinking ship after all.
That's actually one of the things. Because I've saved them, all characters remember I actually did that.
What do you say we bury the hatchet, you and I? For now, at least.
Yes. So yes, you are here to hunt Stinktail after all. Not any lizard that happens to pass on by.
Good, very good. I'm glad you're being so sensible. Glad I can return to my rumination.
He sighs dramatically.
Tell me, what do you see when you cast your glance over this ocean?
I will proceed with Sabil again. Say you see blue silicon sheet meant to mask a fathomless black.
Judging by the dark pools that are your eyes, I'd say you're seeing yourself.
He looks out over the water once more, and so do you. A few tranquil moments pass as the waves lap against your thoughts.
As for myself, when I consider this vast expanse before us, I see an empire. I see continents dotted with mighty cities. And shimmering along the soft curve of the sea's horizon, I picture the palaces that formed my paradise. Lost.
Let's go with the first option. Ask what he means by lost exactly.
What do I mean? I mean just what I say. I had a very actual empire that I lost.
Suddenly, having all the air of being deeply offended, he stares at you with utter incredulity.
Well, don't just stand there gawking like an ape at an abacus. I already told you I'm a prince. Do you mean to tell me you don't know who I am?
Let's go with Scholar Tag for now. A red lizard. That can only mean one thing. He's the notorious Red Prince.
The very same. I am the Red Prince, the All-Conqueror, the World Tamer, the spouse of the sun. Of course you know me.
There's a brief moment's pause, during which his grandiloquent pose deflates ever so slightly.
That said, I suppose I must own up to the fact that I find myself rather in between all-conquering and world-taming opportunities at the moment. The grandeur that is my fate has a little bit of a snap. But never you worry. For the throne I was destined, and my throne I shall have.
Okay, now it's time to invite him to join us.
True. Kind offer indeed. And you've already proven to be trustworthy enough. You came back for the others on that ship after all. Fine, I accept. On one condition. For reasons I'll not disclose right now, it is imperative that I should meet with a dreamer, one of the mystics of my kind. I've reason to believe one of them may be present on this island. Most likely the same chap you're looking for. Promise me we'll find him, and I'll extend you the blessing of my company.
Okay then.
Jolly good. So, now that that's settled, first things first. Even if you are as versed in the art of eloquence as I am, but our swords will be doing a lot of the talking from here on out, it goes without saying. As a born fighter, I prefer the perfection of the blade myself. But I'm well acquainted with the secrets of magic, and yes, even subterfuge. What say you?
Now we can choose what kind of character we would like for him to be in fight. And it even chooses his will ability and talents. So, because I'm going for hunter build, maybe something with melee would be best choice. Fighter sounds perfect. So that's our default choice. I'm not going for any arcanas because they do magic damage, and if I do full physical party it's going to be more advantageous in long run. For Finesse, it's kinda tricky for us to be both Finesse characters, so I will go with Fighter then. There's of course Muscle, which will be in strength, but Fighter is basically dead. So let's go with it.
Very well. Onwards then to victory or death.
If by chance I've decided that Fighter is not in end what I want, I can say that I've changed my mind, but for now, we will not, which will settle it.
And gives you a smile that wavers ever so delicately between courtesy and contempt.
Now, as you're aware, you'll be travelling with a prince. Proper forms for dress include your majesty, your royal highness, or if you're feeling particularly frivolous, my lord. As your luck would have it, I seem to be fresh out of luggage, so you won't be required to carry my belongings. Of course, there are other forms of protocol to bear in mind, but I'll see to it and pick up the rest as we go. So, without further ado, let us be off.
And now, he's actually one of my companions. Of course, he doesn't have Lone Wolf talent, or does he? If I take a look in his talents, nope, he does not actually. He has Opportunist, which he must have for melee fighters. So I will get his Lone Wolf talent on next level. When we go to status, we can see on level 3 we get attribute points, combat points, that's always, and then talent points as well. So he will get Lone Wolf talent on level 3. Right now we can just go here and start with killing these things. This time I won't increase my damage, so there is a time I can use Red Prince and I will get away from there. Now, again, Red Prince has several abilities. Dragon Blaze and Demonic Stare are his innate abilities, and because Demonic Stare is source ability, I'm not gonna use it. This one is Shields Up, which will recover physical and magic armor of his shield. This is ability that comes with every shield, or almost every shield. There are few exceptions to that rule. Now this one does, of course, magical damage, and it burns because it's breathing fire. Then there is Fortify, which comes from Geomancy, as you might see down there, and that provides me with 11 physical armor, and it removes poison, bleeding, burning, acid, and decaying. Then there is Bouncing Shield, which is shield bound ability, and when you have shield, you can use this ability. If you don't have shield, you can't use it. Same goes for, of course, any other weapon abilities. And then there's Battle Stone, which just need melee weapon, so it doesn't matter if it's two-handed, one-handed, or dagger. If it's melee weapon, you can use it. The main thing about it is it sets knockdown for 1 turn. So I will get rid of this thing here, and because it doesn't have any physical armor, it won't resist if I don't miss, which didn't happen. Right now, if I want, I can just shoot this thing with my shield, and now I can shoot you, so I will shoot you instead. And my turn early, and go attack you. Now I can, for example, use my Dragon Blaze because there is no magic armor, and it's done. I can loot this back or this body with Resurrection Scroll, and now I can talk to my companion.
Stare at the slain beasts and comment that they must have been the cause of the ship.
I can choose something for roleplay purposes. So if I want, to be pacifist, I will choose the first option. If I want to be more practical, I would say to get out of here, or I can be a little more sadistic and go with this option. They are just animals, easy now to euthanize.
They didn't put up much of a fight. Dry land, muscle soup.
If you play with somebody else, they will have their own choice to choose what they want to say, but normally there are predetermined choices for characters. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed. Hope you have some kind of idea how this game works, how it looks, and I will look forward to our playtime together. See ya!